Hello everyone and welcome to this fun little video where I'm going to clean my bookshelves and then give you a tour of my bookshelves of what's on each shelf, go into a little story of why I like each of these books. The audio for this video is going to be a little funky, I'm going to say, because I've done some editing so far. The sliding door to my office is open because I'm in LA and it's quite warm. Today it's like in the 90s and it's September, and there's a pool, and so you're going to hear kids swimming and airplanes flying and just background noise. I'm trying to eliminate that, but I also didn't want to sweat in this video, so the door is open. So yes, so let's get into this video. Alright, so first things first, when I decided to clean my bookshelves is really just putting all the little knickknacks to the side and then deciding later where I need to put them. Just because there's a lot of little knickknacks and I needed a space for them. I'm just sort of tossing everything on the floor right now. You will see later that I'll go through it, figuring out trash and, you know, sentimentals and all of that. I'm now debating what I need to do next for these shelves, and so, sorry, I wanted to get a better angle for y'all. So I'm just going to actually take everything off my lamp shelf, just so that way I feel like this is space I could reuse. So now I'm just figuring that out. You'll see a lot of me just pondering like where things should go. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, now I'm on the floor and I was reorganizing some of the shelves in the bottom, but now I am gonna go through actually all like of the bookmarks I have and all these little knick-knack things that were on my bookshelves. So some of these bookmarks I want to keep because of sentimental value. So the ones I want to keep I put to the top of the white bookshelf, and then the ones I wanted to throw away, then I would just put on the floor and I'm gonna toss them. And it's sad, you know, these bookstores, they give away bookmarks, but I want to keep the ones that either, you know, like I said, are sentimental. So I kept like this really nice, oh, here's some cards and postcards that I need to keep. But yeah, those were some more notes I need to actually send to people. But yeah, and stickers from my books and all of those things. So I got rid of just the standard bookmarks, but I kept like this one, the wooden one from Rip Bodice. I kept one that I got when I was in Italy. So just really important ones. And that's pretty much it. Sorry, I had to scratch a bug bite I had. It was itching so bad. Alright, so I've organized my bookshelves. They are a little bit cleaner now. And I decided that I'll try to show you shelf by shelf what's on, what books I have. I totally recorded this like 2 days ago, and it was a very long video for 2 bookshelves. So I decided I'm going to make this a little bit shorter because it was way too long for just 2 bookshelves. So let's start off up here are all my like romance books, a lot of historical romance books. So I have all the Bridgerton ones, including the Happily Ever After that has Violet Bridgerton's story in it. And I have Queen Charlotte's. This was a fun read. And then I have this is the book 1 of the Luna Sisters novel. So this gives a good, this is Victorian, the Victorian era, so right after the Regency era. And this gives a lot of good history on the Mexico and France war. There's 3 sisters. They go to London, and they come from a really affluent family in Mexico. I think their dad, it's not the president, but was in the president's cabinet, if you will. And so they're helping their uncle, you know, try to get the English to support Mexico in in their war against France. So this is book 1. I should be listening to book 2 soon. So my Libby app. And then another book I have up here, it's quickly, is Don't Want You. So Don't Want You Like a Best Friend. This is the first, I want to say 1857, so maybe it is Regency. I'm not sure. but their dresses are bigger, so maybe Victorian. But this has two lesbian characters, so they become a couple. Their parents are very supportive, and then it sort of ends with you getting a glimpse of that they might marry men, but have properties that are like next to each other. But you know, it's just a love story, but between two women. And then let's see, I have also some of the meant to be novels. These are just romance novels. They're not historical romance, but they are retelling of Disney princess stories. So this one by Julie Murphy is a retelling of Cinderella, and this one by Jasmine Guillory is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. And then their book I listened to, I forgot what it was called, is a retelling of like The Little Mermaid. And then they just had their new book launch from the series, and it's like a retelling of Rapunzel, so like Tangled. Alright. We're going to go through this quickly. Okay, so this is more some YA and some adult fiction, but most of it is written by Latina or BIPOC authors. So I have all of the Sylvia Moreno Garcia books, not all, but some. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5, so I think there's 2 that I'm missing. The latest one I read was The Untamed Shore, which is like a true crime type of book. Takes place in the Baja, California in like the 1970s. It was a really good story. Of course, the classic is Mexican Gothic. If you read this one, and there's a lot of fantasy and science fiction to it, but not all her books have that. There's a combination of true crime. I would say though, if you really like Mexican Gothic, then you would like the daughter of Dr. Monroe. That has also science fiction and fantasy elements to it. But the rest of her books I've read have more of true crime type of elements to it. And if you like historical fiction, then I would read, what year is this book supposed to take place again? I don't remember, but The Beautiful Ones. I don't know if it takes place in 1800s or early 1900s, but there we go. Okay, and then I have all of Andrew Thomas ones, so not just The Hate You Give, which apparently is a banned book. Don't really. But I have the dad story of The Hate You Give, Concrete Rose, and then On the Come Up, which is another story. These are just phenomenal written books. I would read them. Alright. Just gonna scoot. Okay. Down here we continue on with the Latina and BIPOC author books. There's a combination of some romance, but really it's just life. So I have Tia Williams, so a love song for Ricky Wilde. This is her latest one. Real, exceptional. I think that's one of the few books this year I've given 5 stars. And then I have, Ova Dies Dreaming. I think this takes place in 2017, 2018, so really good. And it takes place in Brooklyn, and it's Puerto Rican. I want to say Puerto Rican family. And that's something I love about reading different books by Latina authors is we all know society tends to lead people to believe we're a monolithic community, is that the term, where we all have the similar backgrounds, but as people that maybe identify as Latina, you have so many different stories. I'm 3rd generation Mexican American. My life is going to be very different from someone who's 1st generation Puerto Rican that grew up in New York. It's just very different backgrounds, and so that's why I like supporting my Latina authors, because it gives me a glimpse into their lives, their struggles, their wants, their needs. Alright, so before we get on the floor and I show you the last shelf, I'll just show you guys some of the shelves over here and then we'll get to the floor. So, top shelf is classics on this bookshelf, and it is basically like Little Women, The Beautiful and Damned, Tender is the Night. So you have F. Scott Fitzgerald, you have Zelda Fitzgerald, Ernest Hemingway, Virginia Woolf, Louise May Alcott, Mario Puzo, like The Godfather, and the Bronte sisters, and everything like that. So sort of keep the classics up here. The ones I still need to read from this shelf is Ernest Hemingway's Farewell to Arms. I've read Movable Feast, but haven't read this one yet. And Virginia Woolf, To the Lighthouse. I've read Mrs. Dalloway, just still need to read To the Lighthouse. And then The Beautiful and the Damned. I think it's one of the few actual novels of F. Scott Fitzgerald that I have not read. So that's on my list. Here, again, is just more contemporary literature, a little bit of romance. So I have all the Emily Henry books here that I have. So Happy Place and Beach Read and The People We Meet on Vacation. I don't have Book Lovers. That was a library book, but I enjoyed it. And let's see. I also have like Lessons in Chemistry, Madeline Miller's books. So A Song for Hercules and Circe. Both. These are just great books. Honestly, this is like if you need your feminist feels, like this is a good one. And this is like if you really want a good love story. I did not think this was going to be a love story. I did not even think it was going to be a queer love story. I really thought the protagonist was going to be Hercules. And then I started like, I listened to it also as an audiobook and I was like, oh wait, hold up. Okay. It's from like his love interest and ooh, I love this. And then like you see it's just good to see like love in a time where humanity and society was still being built up. And it's also nice that in this time it wasn't odd for men to be in love with other men. So they weren't like punished for that. What people thought was odd was that they still didn't even have like some type of woman in their life just so that way they could have a kid. They didn't have to, like, no one expected them to be in love with the women, but it's like, don't you want a kid? So that's, I will read those. And then of course I have Teresa Ann Fowler's books here, which is Z for Zelda. So it is a historical fiction. So it's just a retelling of Zelda Fitzgerald's life. And then you have A Well-Behaved Woman, which is a retelling of Alva Smith, who marries William Vanderbilt. So it's like if you have like the Gilded Age time, this is a great book. Okay. Can you guys see this? You can see this. I'm going to move this painting. My niece painted this. I really hope she continues her artwork when she goes off to college. This is supposed to represent my husband and myself. Uncle Nick, Auntie Nicole. Me, Uncle Nick is very like the golden retriever, and I'm sort of like the, what was that? The golden retriever and black Labrador. I don't know. Okay. So continue on with fiction here. So like Mad Honey, Where the Crowd Dogs Sing, and just like a lot of other just one-off books. Like Call the Midwife. I read it right when the show was taking off, just to see what it was about. Strongly suggest you reading it. And then like The Bookshop of Second Chances. This is a good one for any of like my over 35 women that honestly are just going through big changes in their life. Maybe your marriage ended. Maybe you are having your kid after you thought you weren't going to have kids. Lost your big career. Any big life changes and you're sort of resetting your life. This book really represents that whole mindset but while being in a really, really, really cute town in Scotland with a cute bookstore and a cute bookstore owner. But that whole feeling of like just loss and resetting. So if you just want to see that represented in a cozy book where you can grab yourself a cup of tea, just chill, this is it. Okay. And then from this shelf, I strongly suggest Mad Honey. It's intense. It is intense. And it will make you have all your feelings. But it's a good story. It's definitely, I love, the ending is semi-sweet, if you will. You get the story from a mom, and her son is on trial for killing his girlfriend, but he did not kill his girlfriend, and so luckily he's found innocent. And the second part of the story, the second narrator, is that girlfriend and talking about her life leading up to her murder. And she actually was killed by her boyfriend's, who was on trial's best friend, who happened to have a crush on him. And so it just sort of shows how, one, the legal system automatically assumes it's always the boyfriend or husband, which not a good thing, and because it really destroys this poor 17-year-old boy's life. Two, just a reminder to truly talk about things. Don't hide things, because the more you hide, the harder it's going to be for your loved ones when you are gone. So, and just, what could it be? Like, sort of accepting the fact that there's just going to be people in the world that maybe are always going to be angry at you. There's just a lot of feelings there. Give it a good read. I unfortunately read it at the beginning of the year, sort of around the holidays. Probably don't do that. It puts you in a mood. It's the holidays. Enjoy it. Okay, so we're moving. Before the camera dies. Alright. Can you see? So with the lamp, I now have decided to put some more books. So the top shelf, sorry about that, guys. The top shelf is going to have a lot of just nonfiction. I have more nonfiction, but it is, it's in the living room. So this is the few nonfiction books I have up here. A lot of memoirs. I would say the best one I have here that I recommend to the majority of people is Undocumented Americans. This is a good one. If you just want to know how the undocumented life is in the United States. It's a short read, but it's an impactful read. Okay. Now we're going to go onto the floor. Alright. So this is the floor. So this shelf, again, has more of my BIPOC authors. So it just continues on with mainly some of the books maybe I haven't really read. I tend to put the books I haven't read on the bottom shelf. I don't know why, but that's just what I do. So down here, a book I would suggest to a lot of people would be Queenie. It is now a Hulu show. I have not watched the Hulu show because even in the book, the protagonist was just so hard to like that I'm nervous of how they're going to portray her on the show. All right. Oh, another book I would suggest is Aristotle and Dante, Discover the Secrets of the Universe. It's a YA book, and it is a queer love story. It's two young boys in Texas. They're in high school, and they fall in love with each other, and they're both Mexican American, but one comes from more of a blue-collar family, one comes from a white-collar family. Their parents are very supportive of them, so it's really just their journey of being comfortable being gay. And there is a part 2 that shows them as they're a little bit older and going off to college and stuff, and it's just so cute just to see, like, first relationships, you know, and just falling in love. And then, of course, there's some sadness there because it's Texas, it's the 80s, there's a little bit of racism and a little bit of homophobic. So, you get all the feelings. The books, though, that I need to read from this shelf is, I do really want to read An American Marriage, but I just know it's going to make me sad. So I have to mentally prepare myself when I want to be sad, because I'm definitely the type of person that cries when I watch a commercial and the kid scores a goal. Like, it's a happy moment, but I cry. So I just know if this book's gonna have a lot of feelings, I'm like, let me be mentally good. And then Homecoming is another book I want to read very soon. Okay, if I can put this here, that'd be great. Let's move on to the bottom shelf over here. So this bottom shelf on the lamp has all of more classics, but just like the beautiful like hardback covers. So I have like this big one of all the Bronte sisters. I have not read all these books, but it's just, I want to have it. I want to have this. Pride and Prejudice, but like, don't you love those ASMR sounds right there? That was fun. And like Robert Frost, all the poetry from him, the Brothers Grimm stories, and the Scarlet Letter. So all those types of books are down here. Shakespeare, Emily Dickinson. There we go. Just continue on a miscellaneous of some children's books, and then some more like fiction, contemporary. So for example, I have like a lot of Melanie Benjamin books down here. So Mistress of the Ritz and The Swans of Fifth Avenue and other ones. So she writes a lot of historical fiction. I have some poetry books down here and a little bit of nonfiction. So this is okay. So camera died. So just continue on with that. Like I said, the last shelf just has a miscellaneous of a lot of different things. Children's books, some of the Candace Bushnell books. So she wrote Sex and the City. So I went through a phase 10 years ago where I got a lot of her books, read them all. Don't hate me. I was in my 20s. So I read a lot of those. Alright, so that is my bookshelf. I cleaned it. These are a few just little items that are on. I don't mind blocking these books because the majority of the books on this shelf I've read, so I don't need to reach for them. But yeah. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoy my tour. I've been an active reader since I was a kid. You would think I would have more books, but I do a combination of audiobooks and library books as well, just because I move around a lot. If you watch this channel for a few years or just a few videos, you'll notice there's always different locations. So I tend to, because we move, I don't want to take so many books with me, but they are an important part of my life. So hope you guys enjoy the shelves. And maybe I'll do another one when we are in another location and you'll see more shelves. Alright, have yourself a wonderful day and I'll see you guys later. Bye.